Try to initiate release sequencer. On my mark. 5.
We're on express elevator to hell. Going down.
2. 1. Mark.
Welcome back to the Resupply with me, Guy Next Door.
Me, DK.
And me, Van.
Bringing you your weekly-ish double tap of all things Space Marines and Laser Force. Hello. Dolly, 18 months. Holy shit, dude. Thank you so much. Let's. Hello to everyone. How are we doing? We're back. Oh, History Professor Dave. I know that guy. He saved me once with milk. Lights.
Oh, is that what we're calling it? I saw a completely different video.
Oh, Kodama as well. Kodama, 20 months. Dude.
Wow. Keep on coming.
Oh, and Zev's continuing.
Again, that was the video I saw.
Yo, thank you guys so much. We're at a level 1 hype train. Congratulations. What a way to roll into the station of this podcast. It's so nice to see you all. Where'd the hair go? Who's here? Oh, the biddies as well.
Bits too.
Take my money. What a homecoming.
It depends who you're talking about. If you're talking about Than, that's a somewhat longer story that we need to get into.
Yeah, pretty much.
If you're talking about Guy Next Door, I don't know.
I've got hair. See, look, I would never shave it off again. Oh,
It
Dolly
got-
with the gift subs.
They must have gotten caught in the plane turbines on the way back to New Zealand.
They made me shave it off. It was they wouldn't let me back in the country.
Like, no neck beards, new immigration policy.
You forgot a couple of S's on the end of that chins there, Konama. Dolly, thank you very much for gifting that sub to Hannah. That's very nice. Very nice of you. We're at 100% of the level 1. What a way to go. Very nice to see you all here. I hope you're all doing well. Very nice to see you two here. How are you going, my bros? How's life?
I mean, it's been 2 weeks of actual work.
Bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. Total fucking. What did you do, Steve?
I didn't touch anything. That's so random.
Wow.
Oh, we got rid of that redemption.
What the hell? I don't understand what's going on. We were supposed to pause that actually. Yeah, on on these days. That's so random though. For some reason it glitched out. It glitched out and then yeah, switch my scenes. There we go. Pause that.
Yes, we have fallen down the bee-hole.
The bee-hole? You're a bee-hole. Sharklift,
Don't talk about our bee-hole.
Thank you very much for the follow, dude. Welcome to the Resupply. In true Resupply fashion, you guys have already derailed the show. We were like less than 10 seconds in, and you guys are like, nah, yeah, we're going this way. There's so many flashing lights. The hype train seems broken. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Legally double tap of technical problems.
I say we take off and nuke the entire site from orbit.
See, none of those shortcuts are working, and I don't know why. That's so strange.
The audio's working, but oh, there it goes.
Yes, it's working for everybody. Isn't that special?
Yeah. Garbage.
Lucky yous.
Not really.
What's how has life after WCT been treating you guys? It's been a little while. It feels like it's been ages since I've seen you.
Well, I mean,
It does. I miss you. I miss your drugs.
What drugs? What are you talking about?
I'm sorry. Legal substances.
Yeah, they're not drugs in that country where we consumed them, allegedly.
you mean that state?
Yes, I do. That's exactly what I mean. Well,
Yes.
it's basically...
When it comes to this one very special area, I'm a strong advocate of states' rights.
Colorado is beautiful, especially when you've had some gummies. I highly...
Even without gummies, it
Even
was
without
still
gummies.
beautiful. Just
Still
in
pretty
case
cool.
you're wondering.
Still pretty cool.
As many of you have seen and have commented, I did a full dump of all of my photos once I got home. I try not to send too much stuff, put too much stuff out on social media when I go away, just for safety reasons. You know, I'm quite a big deal. Just have to keep my family safe. Yeah. But I did a big.
It's very different from the reason why I should stay off of social media when I'm traveling.
But as many of you saw, they've put a bunch of photos up. If you haven't seen them, feel free to go and check them out, because you'll see what I mean when I say that Colorado is beautiful, but Utah, my goodness, what a place. Put it on your bucket lists. Lids.
Bucket
kids.
lids.
Bucket lids,
Are
kids.
Have you had some gummies before the show? Is this what's happening
Dude,
right now?
I struggled. We did a show on Thursday. We played Jackbox, and it's so weird. It was so weird. Even though we did streams and stuff when we were away. What the heck is that thing?
Hype train
Success.
Woo!
Yes.
Thank you. Hype Train completed at level 2. You bloody legends. Enjoy your emotes. I got a turtle. That's cool. Look at that. It's like almost a Squirtle. Yeah, so put it on your bucket lists, kids. Go to Zion National Park at least one time in your life. You will not regret it. It is gorgeous there.
Yep.
But we'll get to that
Accurate.
part. We're jumping ahead. How it was so nice to see you guys in the flesh. You never realize just how much you miss people until you get to be with them again, and then you aren't allowed to be with them again. And then it just reopens a bunch of just scabbed over feelings. So, oh my god, look at all those emotes.
God damn, doll.
Looks like a fucking furry convention.
Well, I mean, the overlap between furries and laser tag players is a definite
It's greater
non-zero.
than you might think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a non-zero number. So there you go.
We also, I missed, as well as seeing you guys, I absolutely loved seeing everyone else in the flesh as well, and also meeting new people. Many of you are well aware of some of those people, specifically Smalling McSmall is probably the one that jumps out ahead of
she has
most.
to jump because she's very very small.
Small.
It's kind of a big deal. But also
She's
small deal.
a big
Very
deal.
small.
It
But
was
very small.
super nice to see to meet you finally in person. Hopefully that's not the last time that happens. Hopefully you guys come out and see us next year. Jumping ahead again, we'll circle back for that. But yeah, like how was the week for you guys? How did you enjoy yourselves?
In Colorado?
Yeah, are we good?
Okay.
Okay, so we're going back 3 weeks now. Cast your minds back into the dawn of time. No, it was a good week.
Yeah.
It's always nice to. It's generally nice. It's sometimes nice to see people.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, seeing you guys when like Steve-O, it had been 4 years since I'd seen you in person, which for us is a really long time. Like I think that like matches the longest it's been since we've seen each other in person since we've been friends. DK, it was about a year since I'd seen you, because the last time I'd seen you was in St. George last year, which was like literally right about this time last year. And so and then getting to actually meet the Brits in person was real fucking cool. It was a while the actual tournament ranking for the week was a little disappointing, not outside the bounds of what I thought was possible, but disappointing. It was a really good fun week for me. It was a good time. DK?
Yeah.
Do you have opinions?
Yeah, I would probably share most of those opinions. It was an awesome week. I loved seeing everybody. I had a super duper amount of fun playing laser tag. I I also felt disappointed in our placement, but you know, you can't win them all, and I'm sure we'll get into this more. But another part of me, the part that just kind of values the health of the scene overall, is really happy at the way things went, because I think things have gotten way more competitive, and things aren't kind of the foregone conclusion and just the like very strict rankings they used to be. Now, that makes me even sadder that I can't practice on a regular basis, and that I can't, like, I feel like in some way sort of keep up with some of these trends, but is what it is. And yeah, Zev, you are correct. I'm ready to play some more tag. In fact, I may or may not already be planning a trip out to Utah in, what, like 3 weeks?
That's
3 or 4 weeks, something like that.
That's pretty awesome. I reckon maybe we break this down into like, I'm changing the format of the show a little. Maybe we'll do a.
Oh no, that never fucking happens. We never change the format of the show on the fly whatsoever.
Maybe we'll do a good
Have
bad.
You met us?
A good, bad, and ugly.
Have you met us?
Yeah, that's fine.
But we'll get to that in a minute. A couple things I wanted to do. I wanted to do a couple of quick shout outs. First of all, shout out to Sergeant Tucker. I know we've been showering praise upon him like a blue movie, but
You blew who are the movies? What?
Sorry, I cracked myself up there a little bit.
No, that was really good. That was really subtle. I like that. That was so fucking good.
It just crept into my head and I said it, and then it just made me giggle. It derailed myself. So yeah, thank you so much to Sergeant Tucker for all the work that you did, dude. I know that you put in so much time, you put in so much effort trying to make sure that everyone had a great time. You did a really good job, considering it was especially because it was your first tournament that you've done. I know that you'll probably take what you learned from this one and improve upon it in future tournaments. So thank you for all the work you did. I wanted to do a couple of quick exclamations in chat. So first one is, if you like this hat, I've very much not fallen in love, but I very much dig the. Oh, that didn't even work. There we go.
There it goes.
Slow ass Nightbot.
If you want to check out where I got this hat from, in a roundabout kind of way, I traded for my resupply hat. But if you want to check out some of their dope threads, go to that link, !Fox in chat. The next one I want to shout out our boy Mischief, !Mischief in chat, if someone wants to test that, because I keep misspelling Mischief, so there's a strong possibility I spell it wrong.
Mischief.
Check out Mischief's channel. He did a few first person footage games, POV games. From Loveland in some of the warm-up games. They're really, really awesome. It does throw me... I prefer, I think personally, the vertical aligned scoreboard, but that's just me. It just... You can kind of... Yeah, I prefer to squish the footage like vertically rather than horizontally. So, but that's just my feedback. Like the videos look really dope. It gives you a really good view of what Loveland's maze is like. I know a lot of people were interested that haven't played there before. They wanted to know what it was like. Go check out.
There's some with commentary too, which is really cool.
Really cool. Yeah, check him out. Really, really good videos. Go to that link, give him a follow so that he can get a good URL. Speaking of which, !YouTube in chat, please follow our channel so that we can get a better URL than that garbage link there. Yuck. We're at 80. You guys shelled out in a big bad way during WCT, so we appreciate it. We're at 80 followers. We need another 20 so we can get rid of that garbage.
Yes. No more please. Fucking subscribe, otherwise you can get the fuck out.
Do it! And last but not least, if you do !Colkins in chat, hopefully I spelled that right, that'll take you to...
You did not spell that right.
I did not spell that
There is no U.
I didn't put a U in there. Yes, yeah.
My bad.
That's why I didn't want to type it. So yeah, go to Simply OK's YouTube page. Give him a follow. Make his URL a little better. He's been producing music, which has been in a bunch of Laser Force videos. His music that he produces is dope. It's really awesome. So
Yeah, he's almost as good as Toothpick Steve.
almost, not quite.
Almost.
Dude, that dude, he dropped some mad beats. I decided this week that that Toothpick Steve is gonna drop his own EP. I have I have a title in mind. What the EP's gonna be. So, and I know I know what I want the album cover to look like. So I'm gonna have to hit Lucy up.
Oh dear.
Because I've decided that, why not have your own EP? Like, why not? Get that money, Dolly.
I mean, I guess I can't really talk as far as like wanting to have your own EP, so. But oh no.
Look at these two band dorks just sucking their own dicks while we're trying to have a laser tag show.
All the action musicians in the community just like, yuck.
Some of us have a complete lack of musical talent, and we're proud of it. Damn it!
Yeah, I know, right? I'm with you. Anyway, that's enough shout outs. Give those respective channels some love. Go give them a follow. Do the thing. Be really nice. On our channel, obviously, you get all the back episodes of this podcast. Plus, we put some of the what are they called? The recap videos from WCT up on our page as well. So if you want to check those out, there was some absolute magic moments during those shows, specifically involving Micro. Go and check those out because it's amazing watching how he works on a couch.
Stallion in chat. Steve-O, I'm with you on having no musical talent. Also, Steve-O, I'm dropping an album.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
Musical talent is not a requirement to drop an album. Has the music industry not proven that for the last 30 plus years?
The man's got a point.
Nickelback is a thing.
Nickelback is actually talented, though. I will actually die on this hill that they are actually talented musicians.
That was the only reason I said it, was just to get Fan to admit that he likes Nickelback again.
Someone right into my trap. Someone make music with different shot sounds on Gen 8. That's not a bad idea. I think that some of Simply OK stuff has some sound effects. Maybe, I'm not sure. We have to check it out.
Probably does.
All right, so good seeing that couch thing live, dude. It was so funny. It was so damn funny. And also, DK is a comedic genius as well. He had a couple of brilliant moments on those shows as well. Right.
It was the gummies, bro. You just don't remember. It's fine.
Oh, I remember.
So we'll do good, bad, and ugly. I think when it comes to this tournament.
Sure.
So some of the good stuff. Obviously, seeing everyone again, meeting people in person was really amazing. That's always good. Always. The amount of support that you guys out there in Twitchland. Russ! Lights. Happy 1 year anniversary, bro. Thank you very much for spending your Prime money with us. We really appreciate you. He's like, who fucking ads? Yeah, so the amount of support that everyone gave us during the week in chat and like kept all the commentators interacting with you guys and vice versa. So good. I think that really makes for a better tournament experience for everyone, especially the people that aren't able to go. Hopefully the commentators were able to FOMO a lot of you into coming to whatever next tournament is coming next, or even if you've got a regular members night scene, hopefully you got the itch to play a little bit of laser tag as well. Stallion, if you don't have, hit me up after. We've got some stuff maybe we should talk about. What was some good stuff for you guys?
I mean, the seeing people that I wanted to see was, it, as you say, It's always a good thing. For the I know I've said this on previous shows, but not everybody listens all in the time, even though they should. For somebody who hates people as much as I do on a general basis, shockingly, I need a certain amount of people in my life. And getting it, being able to come out and see, you merry band of idiots in person was just like, yes, this was pretty fucking cool. I'm not gonna lie, the house that Baden rented for us with the Airbnb that we were able to stay at was also nice. It was nice to have have a good, just chilled place to go back to at the end of the day, because just there's a certain point you're like, okay, I can't deal with any more people, and being able to come back into a space that was just chill and mellow and good, like, let me be a little more social while I was actually at the facility, which was nice. Was great to have to have such a wide participation of various countries. I mean, 4 fucking countries at this tournament.
Crazy.
What in the actual fuck? Like, we had England, we had Germany, we had New Zealand, and of course, obviously, the States, for those of you who can't put all that together. Yeah, pretty much. And so for something that was supposed to be, our typical little regional get together, to have 4 countries worth of people decide to show up and do the thing was awesome. And last small Great Britain, whatever.
It's not that
Islands
Fucking English chauvinist.
Yeah.
Islands over on the over on the other side of the Atlantic, whatever.
Mediocre Britain is what I.
Mediocre Britain.
Yeah. Nothing great about
and then again, like the good, really again have to give Tucker another shout out for taking on his first tournament and doing a pretty fucking good job with it. I mean, the first tournament that you run is never going to be perfect, because it's a balancing act of trying to figure out the things that you have to hold on to, and the things that you can safely delegate to other people. And honestly, after 20 years of doing it, I'm glad that somebody else was, because it was kind of nice to just be like, oh, I have to ref a few extra games. Okay, cool, I'll do that. Oh, so a couple of people have questions every so often. Okay, fine, but not having to do really anything was fucking great. So selfishly, great job, Tucker.
Yeah. Shot, bro. And to be fair, I think some of the stuff that was not so good about the tournament, we'll talk about that in a minute, wasn't really his fault. Yeah, but we'll get there.
We're not there yet.
Just as a PSA off the back of what you were saying, if you have an Airbnb and you get offered the big room, but the big room is connected to a bathroom, don't take the big room. Okay? Yeah, don't take the big room. You want to be as far away from. You don't want to share any walls with any room containing a toilet. Just putting that out there. DK, what have you got for good?
I really liked using the toilet that was right next to Steve's room. That was A+.
A+ would do again, and did. Yeah.
Yeah, I seriously, just being able to come and play laser tag of any kind, let alone a tournament, it makes more sense now in retrospect that last year we called it fake Nats, because it was fake. This was essentially the real Nats. This was the most international tournament we've had in quite a while, just in terms of countries represented and that kind of thing. So that part was really good, and I had mentioned before, just seeing how kind of high level a lot of the tournament was, where it wasn't like we've had sometimes in previous years, just like very clear descending order. Like stuff is much more competitive because people have learned from each other, and being able to play in those high level games where everybody is making these minute adjustments, where people are picking up different parts of the meta from others, and then applying it to the tournament scene as a whole is really cool to see. So I really enjoyed that. I really just enjoyed that. I think we have kind of an overall super competitive tag scene in the US right now. Obviously, moving around to different sites and stuff like that, the home team's always going to have a bit of an advantage. And I mean, if we have a tournament in Utah this this summer, which hasn't been confirmed or anything, but let's just say some of my back channel sources are suggesting that confidence is good. We're moving in the right direction on that front. That obviously having just won a tournament outside of their home site, that they would be hefty favorites at their home site. But even so, like there's a lot of really good competitive players, and it's not the kind of small closed circle that it once was. That's really good to see.
Like two teams or whatever that are always going to make the finals, or
yeah, and just like even some of the players who rightfully are still very respected in the scene and stuff like that, but it's not like they have the status of demigods relative to other players. There's a lot of really, really good players now, and they're spread out all over the place. Like every site has some really good top level players with that kind of thing. And I think it worked really well at this tournament, doing the whole kind of like splitting the top four and bottom four seeds to play in their own pools for a little while. Because like the pool play that we did in 2019, I think was good, but making some adjustments to that, I think have improved things overall. Just because I think it did give teams more meaningful games. And I mean, maybe it's not like the top level thing, like from a competitive standpoint, because you want to have everybody play everybody as much as possible, just from a competition standpoint. But at the same time, like we're all paying money there to have fun and play in close competitive games. So if we can get more of those, I think that's very much to the benefit, rather than have a lot of some of the lopsided games. Because as much as we say like things got much more competitive, there was still a bit of a gap between like the very top teams and some of the bottom teams, and I think those games were kind of less fun for everybody involved.
Yeah, nobody likes getting their ass beat. Sorry, Thane.
No, and I mean, as a as a test run, basically, because that's basically what this was, because this was the first time we had done the pools like this. I would go so far as to say that it was an unqualified success, as far as doing it's in a situation where you do have a little bit of a time crunch element, being able to do this like top and bottom split, get better games, and compress the time that's required. I mean, there's so much good there that it would be hard for me to justify another like another 8-team tournament like this that didn't get run the same way, as far as that type of breaking,
especially over the 4-day. Like when you only have the 4 days to play, that's such a good way to cram more quality games into a shorter space
period of time.
If you have a full 5 and you have 8 teams, then sure, run two rounds.
Okay, I got 2 rounds.
Yeah, the games you get to play, because that way, like, I think people look at it from a perspective of, it's no fun for, let's say, the weakest team to get their ass smashed by the top team. Okay, that's fair, but it also removes the opportunity for the weaker team to play, 2, 3, and 4, which are still really good teams, but you only get better playing better teams. That's the old adage anyway. I'm a firm believer in that. So if you do have the time, I think it's important to still have some of those games in there. But if you don't, such a good way to run it, I think.
And
Yeah.
Zev's comment in chat about being impressed with even how the lower tier teams did. I mean, honestly, me too. I mean, sure, my team came in dead last. It was we finished on I think 10 points for the round play, but in an 8-team tournament, we have very often had like the bottom, like the bottom 2 teams, may finish with like a max of like 10 points between them.
Yeah, or it's like bottom team has 0 points, and the next team up has 6 points from the one time they played the team that was ranked below them.
Yeah,
And that's like it.
Yeah, so the fact that even at the bottom rung, there were the games were still getting taken, is not it's not a bad thing. And DK2 actually maybe it was Kodam's comment in chat about this tournament, like giving giving like a positive thing for the future of the Force competitive scene. I mean, yeah, it was nice to see that there weren't teams just getting completely rolled and shit stomped the whole time. Teams getting beat, sure, I mean, that's always going to happen. But when even the bottom team is taking games and had opportunities to take matches and didn't, that's still pretty good. And Russ makes the comment that 3 teams going 5-5 in matches is cool, because it is. And it's like, cool, yeah, balance. It was great.
Do you think any of the upsets had anything to do with how the arena played versus others?
Yes.
There's an element to that, yeah, for sure.
Yes, 100%, no question.
So that particular arena, and I know this got mentioned during recaps and during commentary as well. The Loveland arena, more so than most, is an arena of very fine margins. It is an arena that exponentially punishes small mistakes. It's not like a Brisbane, where if you make a small mistake, you can at least recover, reset up, try to live to fight another day. It's fine. Sacramento, RIP. If you made a small mistake, you could recover, set up, fight another day. It was fine. Loveland, if you make certain small mistakes, they just exponentially compound, because there's not really good secondary places to kick to, and the downstairs area is such that you can basically wreck people across the entire arena with never having actually followed their path and never actually having had a chase in a lot of areas. So yeah, just kind of that exponential, just kind of that exponential thing is like, what?
I mean, two things on that. Like, I would say we had a whole conversation during some of the leagues in SAC where I had made a point to my team, and my team had mentioned this to other people, that it's like the one of the mistakes you can make is waiting too long to go downstairs. Like, don't wait until the entire team is on top of you, because then you're just going to get destroyed as you all try to go down. Like, I would say that advice is that times 100 in Loveland, is that if you wait to make a tactical withdraw or retreat until the other team has their offense completely set up and is already on top of you, then you're going to have a bad time. Like, the medic's probably going to lose 4 or 5 extra lives or something like that. And on the other side, you don't wait too long to try to get yourself back into the game, because I think that can also be a thing that I saw happen to multiple teams, is that if you lose that initial push and you have to go downstairs, like, just the morale effect of that was absolutely real. And I saw some teams, it's like they might not have fallen apart, but there's like a little bit of that thing of being like, fuck, we lost upstairs, like off the break. And it's difficult to recover from that. But there are, I think, ways to do it. Just maybe didn't have enough kind of time logged in that field. But I had like other things that were kind of occurring to me after the tournament of like, okay, well, could have done this, or this differently.
So,
So
hang on, wait.
go ahead, Steve.
So before, like, that is a good point, but I think the flip side to that is, and like you said, Dan, it's such a fine margin that if you wait too long, that's bad. But if you blow out early, that's even worse. So if you leave, if you aren't able to kind of like at the start of every match, it seemed like the two teams were just throwing haymakers at each other to see who would get upstairs. And so if you're the first one to kind of flinch, that's also a bad thing. So it's such a hard balance to get. Like, yeah, if you wait too long, you lost heaps of unnecessary lives. If you blow out too early and your team takes upstairs, then you're separated now, and they have to kind of almost give up upstairs, and it's difficult because if your front line has captured upstairs and they're waiting for the resup to come in and the resup don't, they're just sitting up there losing lives. So and
that was kind of a frustrating thing for me at moments, is that I felt that it was perfectly possible in some instances, if you didn't have if most of the enemy players were engaged upstairs and you didn't have people who were trying to hammer people like from the bottom, it could be perfectly acceptable to have one or even both of your resups all at the bottom of the ramp, just ready to come up at a minute's notice. But it's like, if they're not in the direct eye line of your team and you think that they've just completely retreated rather than just made like a temporary withdrawal to a slightly safer spot, that's when I think that panic starts to set in. So it's like, yeah, I agree with what you're saying, but it's like, just because you have maybe one or two people go downstairs, it doesn't mean that everything has to collapse. But that also depends on, is there communication? Do people have enough lives and shots to continue the fight to bring you back up? So so small margins, like Pan said. So basically, this is a long way of saying I agree.
Well, and so the follow-up question that Skinny Bob had, now does this make you feel that the arena is less enjoyable than others? No, I mean, as with any creative works arena, because this is a creative works arena, I mean, once you block the really stupid Gen Pub cutouts, the maze is fine, and you can actually work with it. It's still a fun maze.
Oh yeah.
It's just different.
It's very, very punishing of small mistakes, and you just have to understand that what this is definitely an arena where in certain cases one missed shot is potentially going to fuck you like completely.
If you didn't set a backtrack, you might get punished.
You're probably going to get fucked.
And it also,
if there's
go ahead, Dick.
If there's like one change that I would want to make to that field, it would be that kind of outside leg of the red ramp that goes up to sort of the fun box. I would like to see like the wall raised up on that side, just to kind of give a little bit more cover if teams are kind of moving along that part of the ramp, and to kind of block off some of those cross shots, and also to make it so you're not just getting hammered if the entire team has to go down. Because you have to go all the way down that one length of ramp where you're completely exposed, and then back down the other way to get downstairs. Plus, then you can lean over the other side of the wall, and you have that entire hallway that's essentially uncovered.
I'd rather see that shot removed. The shots from upstairs over down into the first floor. I'd rather see all of those shots removed, because I'd hazard a guess as to a lot of those shots, maybe a third of those shots, aren't legit. But people either coming over gun first or like not clearing the wall. I pinged a few people shooting off there because like. You're like, that pipe is blocking everything. What are you doing? I'd rather see that shot completely removed than have that wall put up on that ramp, like you said. Because that's just like it is punishing, yeah, but that's kind of part of the maze, right? I think Scoony Bop, like, it depends on your appetite for mazes, at mazes that aren't the same as what you're used to. And if you're just used to like say, Syracuse, then making a transition to some of these other mazes is a really difficult thing. It's not until you bank a couple of like tournaments at these different mazes where you become more open to the differences that some of these mazes present. Except for Detroit. Fuck Detroit. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
Just put it out there then.
Yeah. Maze. Let me
Way easier to play. Yeah, I mean, easier to play than Detroit. I would say. Well, depends what you mean by easier. Detroit is less punishing of those small mistakes. Like, you have to control space effectively in Detroit, but I would say like just the overall learning of the field is way less difficult in Loveland, because there is kind of a typical kind of strategy that you will go for, and there are a limited number of places where it's like you clearly need people here, here, and here, and these are your angles of attack, versus it's like, oh, I didn't notice that window the entire week in Detroit until I just got fucking annihilated through it.
and like, unless somebody points those little cutout window things out to you in Detroit, that stuff is really hard to learn in a week. Loveland's like easy enough to learn the arena and how it kind of plays as a general overview, than Detroit, I think, personally.
And that's right, Nolan. I would agree. The arena, it does need teamwork. Yeah, I don't know if it's more so than any arena I've played. I might make an argument that I think Brisbane might require even more team coordination, but it's much more up there. Like, it's very, very difficult for any player to solo backpack in that field. There's just if you don't have multiple angles covered, it can get rough. And I didn't experience it this time around, fortunately, but yeah, back in 2015, I know trying to run some solo attacks and stuff like that, it was a really bad time. So yeah, you definitely need a lot more teamwork, which, spoiler alert, good job on you, Chula. You guys did good on that front.
So I also
accurate.
Yeah, I do want to give them a special shout out, actually, because considering you guys don't have a maze in Chula Vista anymore, how are you guys so much better than I remember a lot of you playing, or even, obviously there's a bunch of you that I hadn't met before, specifically Kurama. I think Kurama and Applesauce getting real good. But just in general, considering you guys don't have a regular maze that you play out, it's really impressive to see how well you guys work as a unit. So good job. Yeah.
Well, it helps. It helps when they can hang out in real life, just in general, and they're all young.
Yeah, that actually. Yeah, just got older. Yeah.
They're practicing doubles at Benihana where they have to get the slippery shrimp across to the other table. Okay. Resupply. Slippery shrimp on one.
In hindsight, so I had the opportunity to potentially go to Disneyland instead of going to Vegas. Should have chose Disneyland. Should have definitely chose Disneyland, but that's okay. All right, you have a home now too? Where is it? Don't say that other place.
Pretty sure they're gonna say that other place.
It's fine.
You are in the bad place.
Shit, the other place. Okay, do you guys? Is there any other There's so many good things that happened. I think. Real quick, couple of really good things that from the week. Traveling during COVID is not super terrible. Thunder, I should have come with you, bro. It was such a rookie mistake. I'll talk about Vegas in a minute. You got invited back to site recently, but we discussed tag at time we're not playing theory of the game tournament. It's just such a good thing to do, and we've talked about it before. That's basically the birth of this podcast, because everyone does it. Everyone sits around either after tag or during tag or whatever, and just wax poetic about the game and how we play it and past tournaments and all that stuff. That's the birthplace of this podcast. So, right there with you. Disneyland Toy Story ride helps you keep your aim. Okay, so traveling during COVID, not as bad as you might think, especially on the way over to the States. I had a full row of seats to myself. Dope. Really, really cool. Snow is magical. That's a really cool thing. Well, at least the snow I experienced was magical. It's not like
Yeah.
hell.
When it's safely on the ground, not hurting anybody, then it's perfectly fine.
So magical. Not like what you guys get out in Western New York. Weed dispensaries, amazing. So good. And the last thing, oxygen in a can, life changing. I would love that to be a thing here. I think the closest thing to that would be like a scuba tank, and I think that may be a little overkill for Laser Force, but
Maybe.
O2 in a can, golden. Especially because you don't have to shovel it. Exactly. That's what Thunder's Misses is for. No, just kidding. She was like, what do you...
Ow.
Anyway, it's an in-joke. He'll understand. He'll get the joke. Right. Those are some really good things. Let's talk about... actually, did you guys want to say anything else? Any other good things about the tournament?
I mean, I only had one other note about the pool play thing. Like, I would agree that it was an unqualified success and that it could be a model going forward. I do think that because of how the teams were structured this time, it lent itself much more to that. That because I think the biggest gap was between 4 and 5, so 1 through 4 were all close enough that they had good competitive games. 5 through 8 were all close enough that they had good competitive games. If we had a situation where it was like, say, 3 through 6 were really close, 1 and 2 were kind of in their own category, and 7 and 8 were sort of at the clear bottom, then I'm not sure that splitting top 4, bottom 4 actually has quite as many benefits to it. Like, it's probably still good, but I don't think it would have worked quite as well as it did for this tournament because of just where the skill gaps happen to be. But that said, I mean, it's still something to try.
I loved Loveland's Arena. I thought it was dope. Provided you cover up the dumb cutouts, because we played some games with cutouts, in the practice games. Yeah, they're not great, but like you take away those dumb cutouts, really cool. Do you think this format split would work for more teams? Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Yeah, you could even divide it into 3 tiers
yes.
if you had 12.
Or 9 even. If you had 9, you can do three tiers of 3, which is also workable. I mean, you have options with it. The whole the whole point of it is to group teams so that you've got more quality games, and so that just makes it fine with just about any number. Really.
I don't know, to a point. So like that doesn't take into consideration that what we had happen in Detroit was when we had the 2 pools and they happened to randomly fall, and it was all, Syracuse and Detroit teams in the one pool, and they play each other all the time. So they're like, well, we want to play people we don't normally get to play, because that's kind of the point of the tournament. So that would be my only caveat with splitting the teams out, especially if it's 9 and you've got 3 per group, then maybe, I don't know, maybe that's...
9's also just an awkward number.
Yeah, don't have 9. If you're going to have 9, have 10, okay? Or have 8. Don't have 9.
Don't have 7 either. 7 is right out.
12T tournament exists only in your dreams. It's right.
7 at least is a low enough number that you would still be able to like if we had 7 that week, we probably could have got 2 full rounds.
Yeah.
It's just because every team that you adds, essentially exponentially more games rather than just going up in a linear fashion. But happens.
It's fine.
Yep.
Now we'll get to the bad. I want to preface this with there was a lot of good things about the tournament, and overall the tournament week was amazing. We had a great time. Really awesome to see everyone. But
yeah, also good. Estes Park was cool. I'm glad we went to the mountains. Yeah. The celebration dinner was good, and maybe the most good thing of the week is that I converted Titch to the Church of Fireball. So yay!
I mean, that's not a hard convert, really.
No, it really wasn't. Not at all.
Hey, do you want to drink this this alcohol? And Titch is like, "What's that? Yes, I do. What the fuck's a Baja Blast?"
Baja Blast.
Baja Blast. Don't know.
It's
a Taco Bell thing.
Blue drink. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of Mountain Dew-ish.
Yeah. Pencil and Baja. Oh yeah, he said it. Pencil and Baja bus. Okay. So, oh, actually, what's funny is that Tucker sent me a message last week, and he's like, "What the fuck, bro? Someone just asked me a question." And I was like, "Yeah, sweet ass. What have you done to me?" So good, bro. Use that, because having an accent, especially a Kiwi one, will get you free drinks. It's awesome.
Favorite stories from the week when we got to why am I forgetting what the barbecue place was called now?
There.
Where we had that, and a couple of the Chula guys were like, "Oh yeah, the bartender was a huge asshole to us.
Everyone
and, didn't
said,
want to take our drink orders." Everyone said it. As soon as Steve goes there, they're like doing shots with Steve at the bar. They're just like, "Oh yeah, guy next door is awesome. We love this guy." So yeah, the Kiwi accent, it will just insta drop the panties, I guess.
Yeah, true story. I think the people's problem was that he had a very Australian sensibility, and we're kind of used to that shit down here. I'm like, well, at first look, you're being a dick to me, but actually I can see that you're not. But everyone in the States like, he was so rude. And yes, he was, but that's his way of telling you he likes you.
Okay, so it's a hoodlum type thing.
Yeah, exactly right. It's just so much meaner when it comes with an American accent. New form of Kiwi aids or fucks with your speech. Yeah, well, if I'm anything to go by, like, you'll just slur everything, not racially. So let's move to the bad.
Not those kind of slurs. Those are banned on the channel.
Yeah, that's right. The bad. Oh, actually, I'm gonna note that as part of the ugly. So the bad. What have you guys got?
Yeah. How do we separate those?
What have you guys got for bad? Is there anything you wanna Siri put in slurry asshole? Maybe I'll start. So okay, we talked about commentary all week and how good it is to have the commentary as part of the thing. I think tournaments going forward needs to have some sort of commentary team, because it just makes it more enjoyable for anyone else who's casually watching to feel like they're part of the week. Make sure you have a commentary team. The drawback from having a commentary team, and maybe not from a viewer perspective, but the amount of stuff that gets said near microphones, where people forget there's a microphone around, or potentially say some stuff about people that might be deemed hurtful, or maybe they wouldn't have otherwise said it. People, these things get picked up from microphones, and the good thing about Twitch is that most of the VODs get saved, except if you play in St. George. And we usually upload them to the tournament's website, tournament's YouTube page, which I don't think we have a shortcut for, but I should make one. Yeah, I would say that maybe some people should be a little more careful about the things they say around a hot mic. And
why you gotta be like the NSA, bro? You're tapping all our phones.
I don't want people to feel like they can't express themselves or can't be themselves. Name names. I don't have to. Go back and watch the VODs.
You don't need to name names. You can figure it out.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't want people to ever feel unsafe about being able to express themselves, because people should be able to express themselves. I've said some horrific shit coming out of a maze after getting beat. In fact, there might even be one or two in the VODs.
More than likely.
Yeah. But some of these things are hurtful, especially after you come out and you're like, I went back and watched some stuff, watching the finals for us, because I felt we underperformed as a team. I was expecting at least the top 2 finish, and we didn't get it. I also felt partially responsible for some of that. But some of the stuff that gets said, can be kind of hurtful. So, although in my instance, there was watching the finals afterwards. the stuff that was said about me was 100% accurate. Sometimes hard truths are
I'm
hard.
so completely offended by something that was so true.
But yeah, like, that's probably one not so positive thing that come out of it. But, like, you know, some of these things are founded. But yeah, I don't know if you guys want to add to that, or if we move on to something else.
I mean, I'll stand by the underperforming thing. Like, I mean, for a team that we kind of self-consciously had identified as a quote-unquote stacked team, I don't think we were that impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, we were still good, but I mean, that kind of goes back to what I was saying before is like, look, a lot of these other players are really good now. And a team that might have been stacked on paper 3 or 4 years ago is now it's another good competitive team, but it's not so far ahead of everybody else.
5 or
And
6
like,
years ago.
yeah.
Thanks for clarifying. Resupply lives matter.
Any X number of years ago.
But we,
Yeah.
I mean, we even said that when we first talked about the team. We were like, we know that, you know, Steve's unfit. Venom hasn't played for like 5 years.
I don't get to practice.
You don't have a regular site. You know, Baden doesn't play on the regular anymore. And I don't even know if Detroit even plays on a,
you know, he had like a
basis.
major health event in the last year
That
as
too,
well. So,
yeah. But like for us,
I mean,
yeah, it was always in the back of our mind. I think that that we aren't the players we were. But I think we still, the competitive spirit in us is just like, we have to win.
it's not like we were bad,
Yeah.
but we went in with high expectations. We didn't meet them. That always hurts. Like there's no way around that. If you're gonna be disappointed, you're gonna be disappointed. And I mean, sometimes I can have a realistic idea of how I'm gonna finish going into a week. Other times when it's like I really want to forge ahead though and feel that we could finish higher, like it stings a lot more not reaching the threshold that you think you could.
I got mad stomach pains watching the first game of our third place match.
You
What
need
they
some
call
milk.
it. I need some
I mean,
tissues.
yeah,
Wipe my
that one
tears.
killed me like even more because like not being in there like somehow made it worse.
Yeah.
Like you might think like, oh well, you know, at least you weren't in the game, so nobody can blame you for what happened. I'm like, no, it's the opposite. I'm just like, well, why am I not in there helping the team? Like I feel like absolute garbage that I'm just watching this happen and I can't do anything.
Rostering
It's
7 is difficult.
awful.
It's a really difficult thing.
Yeah, I was gonna save that for I don't know if that goes in the
We're
bad
good.
or the like I absolutely love playing with all you guys and being on a team with you, but I would not be on a team with 7.
Nah, neither.
Again, it presents too many difficulties. It makes it more difficult. Number one, to get as many games as you could. I hated sitting out games, and I know several other people on the team did as well. And it makes the chemistry more difficult because I think had we been rostering a consistent 6 the whole time, we might have experimented with some other stuff that we didn't really get a chance to do, or that I'll shoulder some of the blame for that I wasn't quick-minded or I don't know, maybe creative enough to think of at the time that we could have done differently. So, yeah.
What you said, Tails, about having the warning sign, I don't think that's going to be helpful because in a lot of instances, people came and sat next to the mic and said things.
Yes, I mean, sure. If you knew that something was going to be broadcast the entire internet, certainly people would behave themselves. Social media definitely indicates that people are very responsible with the kind of comments they can make that could never be construed as hurtful to other people.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I mean,
I mean, hey, it works so well for cigarettes. Let's put it on the microphone.
when I come out of the maze and I'm angry, like I've said some really dumb things, some really just shitty things. And no amount of signage is going to prevent that from happening. So, yeah, I don't know.
To me, there's also a difference between, like, being frustrated in the moment and having a blow up and stuff like that. I don't usually put much stock in that versus when somebody clearly has their thoughts collected and then something gets said and it ends up being kind of hurtful to somebody else, it's just like, oh yeah, that must actually be how they feel. It's not just like lashing out in anger, so that feels
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah, but like, I mean, again, it's a weird, interesting scenario where people can speak their truths that they wouldn't normally speak to somebody directly, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing or what, but it's a thing.
Taxi cab confessional.
Yeah. Nolan, Nolan asked in chat, do you think it would have been better to have built a ninth team with all the seventh players on various rosters? No.
No, because it would have been a dysfunctional team.
And also,
Is the other problem.
Who do you make play in that team? So in our instance, I pulled out of the tournament. We rostered, our team rostered Odin as my replacement, and then I was like, actually, I'm back. And so, what do you do then? Are you like, oh, sorry,
Kick your ass off the team, damn
yeah,
it, Steve.
yeah. Do you be like, oh, sorry, Steve, we don't have space for you anymore? Do we say Odin, like, Steve's back, he's gonna take his spot, you have to go somewhere else, even though you've now committed? Like, that's a really hard one. You could ask people if they want to, but I would imagine that depending on who's on that team, people won't.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, really, Goldfish raises probably the most.
Well, we're gonna
point
get there.
We
there.
We had space for those seventh players that wasn't utilized for a different reason. But yes, we'll get. That's probably coming up in the ugly section.
All right. Well, no. I'm gonna talk about it now. So I've ranted several times about this. Over the week, and I figured I'll wait till we get back here and do it properly on this show. It's right. When you commit to playing a tournament, make sure you commit to playing the tournament. It really bugs the fuck out of me when there's no commitment from people. And also, like, I've said plenty of times, one of the things I hate the most in a Laser Force game is when somebody quits the game halfway through. They give up. They don't want to play. That goes double for anyone who drops out of a tournament. Just because you're, I don't know, you're not having fun. You abandon your teammates. You're like, I don't want to play anymore. It was dumb. And you don't come back. Get fucked. Don't do that. It shows a lack of respect for Laser Force. It shows a lack of respect for the people who love this game. And for the most part, we all love this game. We wouldn't be playing this game for 20, 25, 30 years if we didn't love this game with a passion. So it shows a deep respect for the game we love and for the people who play it. And even more so, it shows a lack of respect for the people who are supposed to be your teammates, who you're going into battle with, who you're supposed to have their back as well as they're supposed to have yours. And finally, it shows a real lack of respect for the people that missed out on playing because you took their spot. If you took somebody else's spot in a tournament and then you decide that you don't want to play anymore, that's unacceptable. That shit's fucked. It really frustrates me watching people do that sort of shit. And I'm gonna call you out, Loveland B team. And parts of
half the bakery, whoever was the other half of the bakery who didn't show up.
Like, and I got told stories of like, oh, such and such had to go and look after a dog. Unacceptable. If you're at the tournament, you have plans. It's the equivalent of committing to working a week or committing to a shift or something. You can't just change your plans because somebody's like, I need you to do this favor for me. Unacceptable. And the other thing is, if you're gonna play a tournament, play the tournament. Don't roster yourself on at work and say that you're going to do both. Don't only play half the week. Don't do that. Commit to the week. Because if you don't commit to the week, other people can't play. And I know there was a lot of people that, well, not a lot, but there was a handful of people that didn't come to the tournament. They didn't think they had places. There wasn't space for them. Could have easily played instead of you. So, yeah, that's unacceptable. Unacceptable. It made me so mad. I was so mad during the week when I heard this shit, and it come from people that I like people that it's not that I don't like the people on a personal basis. I think you're nice people. I think you're cool. It was really nice to meet you guys, but commit, just commit. Anyway, that's my rant over significantly less f-bombs.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you guys agree, or am I like just?
No, I absolutely agree, because specifically, I mean, it's kind of more egregious with the home site team, because it's like that also cuts into your sort of responsibility as a host to make a good responsibility, or to make a good impression on other people. And I know it can be more tempting. You're like, well, I live locally, so I'll still be able to play most tournaments, so maybe I don't need to take that time off work. No, you do.
You do.
If it's a tournament week, you take the week off. Even if it's going to be a pain in the ass and you're going to have to be doing some shit when you get back that you really don't want to do. More on that later. You take the week off of work.
Yeah. You're either in or you're out. There's no half-assing. It's not fair. It's not fair to everyone else. It's just,
I can only show up half the days. Okay, sorry, you can't
don't play then.
That's it.
Hit up the next tournament, mate. Like, it's just that's your station on life. Sorry, but that's just it. You can't play.
Yeah. Now the rest of you Loveland people who showed up and played every day, you guys are awesome.
Mad good, especially like, and so as shitty as it is for somebody to abandon you on your team, the fact that like others still kept coming to the tournament. Okay. Also, if your team gets knocked out of the tournament, don't not come to the last day. You still got to come and ref. You still got to come and be at the tournament. The tournament's not over when your team is knocked out. You still got to come. Okay? Fuck. So mad. Okay.
You know, it's actually nice for once seeing Steve-O mad instead of me. Great. It makes a nice change.
You'd like to thank Loveland for all the extra channel points you won during. Amazing. Yeah. It's not fair.
I say we take off and nuke the entire site from orbit.
Oh, that one.
Yes, let's do that.
Yeah.
I say we take off and nuke the entire site from orbit.
And you're right. Yeah, I think Thunder, you have
I say we
the kind
take
of
off
same
and nuke the entire site from
viewpoint
orbit.
as.
Cancel that redemption shit. I don't want to get 5
I
change.
say we
God
take
damn it.
off and nuke the entire site from orbit.
Oh, he's dropping a $5.
I say we take off and nuke the entire site from
Why
orbit.
did that team have 3 commanders? That's not fair.
Frosty's breathing extra easy in here now you've opened the vents. Yeah, it's it really bugged me. It really bugged me. It was like, I think, and this is what I alluded to earlier, like there's a lot of people that hit up cheers. A lot of people who hit up Tucker prior to the tournament and, you know, wanted teams and stuff. And I'd spoken to Tucker about this. I was like, look, your job is to organize the tournament. Your job's not to organize the teams that play in it or the players that play in it. If people want to play, everyone generally knows everyone else in the tournament scene. They can put a message up saying, I'd like to play. I need to play on a team. That's not your job. And so I don't think it's fair, because that's one of the big dampeners was that, you know, the Loveland Bakery team had how many players played for Loveland Bakery? It's like 20 something.
Oh, so
23.
many.
23.
That's just 24.
24.
That's disgusting.
Whatever.
So like that's not a reflection on you, Tucker, either. Just quietly.
We could have a whole other tournament just with those players. Next match is Bakery versus Bakery.
You flew solo to Brisbane to play, so seeing people from the home site not commit is gross. Yeah, it is. And look, obviously there's going to be the people who dropped out will justify their non-commitment in whatever way they want, and that's fine. Just understand that, you know, it's just not fair. It's unfair on anyone else. Shoulder rise, but it's quintessentially Kiwi, that one. Okay, do you guys want to add anything to that? I mean, I think everyone kind of outside of, you know, the people that we maybe Oh, I forgot to turn that off. That's noisy. The people that that we're actually talking about may have a differing opinion, but I think the feeling is fairly mutual across the board. I think this is still the bad, Konama.
We're crossing categories here. It's all
Yeah, I think
bad
I
to
think,
me.
I think I think bad and ugly is a Venn diagram. There's a fair amount of overlap. I think we can take care of kind of both at the same time. I think we're okay.
Yeah. For me, like the stuff that's ugly is more of like some of the out of tournament stuff, or the stuff that's like purely internal to me versus just sort of in the background of like, okay, next time we have a tournament, maybe we could do without this. But it's like anything that's the ugly side is more like my own personal experiences. I don't know. That's how I'm dividing it up.
So Thunder writes, Sights need someone who will tell these non-committal and non-serious players no. Our WCT St. George had one team. Is that because we couldn't roster more than one? No, it's because we told everyone no. We're going to play in tournaments, travel and prove to us you're serious. So, I think parts of that is...
To a point.
Yeah.
To a point.
To a point. So, if you've got the luxury of having that many players that you could tell them, no, you need to travel to play in a tournament, awesome. If you don't, and also there are people that really, they won't be able to... they won't be able to travel, but I think the part where you tell people, hey, are you committed to playing? Do you have roster time off this week? If you don't, you're not playing. That's kind of, you should come down to the team captain to kind of do that. I don't think that's any one particular person, unless you are, heavily respected at your home site, like I know Thunder is. Then, yeah, like, maybe go that way. But, yeah, this is a tough one, that one. You're not my dad.
Not
Okay.
your buddy, pal.
I'm not your pal, friend.
Not your friend, jackass.
I'm not your jackass mate.
I'm not
What?
your mate, guy. Next door. So,
I'm not your guy, dude.
Do you guys they all swore to your face had it set out, so you promised that it was... Yeah, yeah, so we talked about it, Tucker, and it's one of those things where this comes down to like people being adults and like actually being like, well, unless I can commit to something 100%, I'm not committed. So, and if you're not committed, you shouldn't play. Like fucking traveling 12 and a half hours during COVID times on international flights to come to another country. Anyway, country. Finish that word. Country.
Yeah, please do, bro.
You selfish country music listening lady.
Right. Do you guys have other bad things you wanted to get off your chest? Because now's the
I
time.
bet Dan has at least one bad thing he wants to talk about.
Fuck. I don't know. Is that bad or is that ugly?
You choose.
Yeah, because it's not lasers related. So
Yeah, it's not laser tag related in any way, shape, or form. So I think that goes into ugly. So we can.
I do have
that.
I do have one other one actually, and this is from a personal perspective. And I know that what's up with your cameras? You've gone from one fuzzy to another. And me and DK kind of like talked about this a little bit, but like I felt that I lost my identity a little bit this competition, and I think part of that is playing in a role that I've never played. I've never played Resupply in a competitive situation before, and I felt in hindsight, I felt that maybe I lost a little bit of my own power, and my self-confidence, my ability as a player to actually play the game. There we go. It's much nicer. And maybe that's maybe that's to do with like being surrounded by so many great players on our team, or historically great players that maybe put everyone on a pedestal and didn't trust the fact that I have 20 years of experience playing this game. that I actually know a little bit about what I'm talking about, and have. I think part of it, if I had kept up with my fitness routine, I probably would have had a little bit more self-confidence. But it's one of those things. You sort of mentioned kind of the same thing, DK, or similar.
Yeah, I mean, it's always difficult. Anytime you make like a quote unquote super team, regardless if it's this team or some other variant of it, like somebody is going to have to sacrifice. And this is true in like other sports as well. Like anytime you see like top level NBA players team up, like somebody ends up having to sacrifice, and that can be a hard process. And I mean, this again will go kind of in the personal side, but like to the extent that anybody on the team felt let down with how I played resupply, like I'm really sorry that happened, and that makes me feel absolutely awful that I potentially let anybody down on the team, because that's not where I want to be. But like that said, I do feel that there was a way to play resupply in that tournament and in that field that I think could have worked for us and would have allowed us to kind of play a little bit more what our natural tendencies are without hurting the team. And we didn't do it. And it's tough because when you have a lot of top level players on your team, like I agree that my job is to put them in the most advantageous possible, to do the most damage, to be able to play their game as well as possible. But we can be more than heel bots sitting in a corner. Like I want more kind of responsibility, more trust put in me, and I feel like we could have done more. But this is just kind of something that I think about with resupply generally, that I think there is more that can be done, that more responsibility can be put in the resupply to cover positions, to be involved in their own defense, and not just to have to sit in a corner and just resupply the players when they absolutely need it.
Just to clarify, Ducky, we don't mean just like a vague 3-hit players being the top players. We are specifically referring to our teammates, in our opinion.
Yeah, I mean people who I think are better players than me.
Yeah.
Which is a difficult thing for me to admit, but
it happens.
There were players who I felt were better than me, and with me not being able to practice, and that kills me further. And that is something that I think also contributed to just this sort of feeling that if I let people down because I just didn't have the reps and didn't have the practice, it is really hard. I don't know what else to say about that.
Scooney, but I think like what also shines brighter is the chemistry that your team has together. So like you look at the Cedar City guys, or St. George 8, or however you want to refer to them. They've played so many games together every week. So their synergy and their communication as a team is top level. And that's what you want out of like a nationals team. You would expect that at a nationals, your team has that experience playing together as a site. From my understanding, these regional tournaments are not necessarily the best from each site, but rather like funsies tournament or whatever. I mean, to loosely use the word funsies, but but yeah, I've always, and I stand by, and maybe it's a little egotistical, but I stand by that at my best, I am one of the best players, but I am far from at my best. And those sort of truths are really hard to kind of get to as well. But yeah, it's a tough realization like I realized that after I got to play a little bit in St. George, and I didn't play Resupply, I don't think, the whole night. And I was like, "That's right. I can play this game." Like, it's my first time in this arena, and it was what it was. And I still didn't, I still got my ass kicked a little bit, but it's still, you still feel, oh yeah, that's right. I can play this game. I can be a force. But I think, yeah, maybe for me, some of the factors like my fitness and like the elevation of the places we were playing really just took it out of me, and those things can all compound into having a tougher mental state, I think.
Yeah,
so
it's tough. Well, and I mean, I'm right there with you. I also feel like at my best, I'm a top level player, but that's partly kind of what I was trying to get at earlier is idea that just the kind of definition of who is a top level player, I think, has just sort of expanded in the last few years. And that's ultimately a good thing, that I'm like, there are way more people who I would put in kind of like the same tier or top tiers of players relative to how it was in like 2017, 18, that kind of era.
Yeah. It'd be easy for me, Scooney, because you seem like you're a big dude, but you seem like big, like brick shithouse kind of big. I'm just fat. I could lose the weight. It's hard when you just have a big
Stop flattering me.
Yeah. So, like all of these things, I think just it was such a different vibe for me personally, and it's a really hard thing to come to grips sometimes when you're like, fuck, I'm not as good as I used to be. That stuff hurts.
You get there.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah. Whatever, you're still the man.
But I hate the idea, but I don't know. For me, it's different, that I'm like, I hate that the reason that I feel like I'm sort of losing a step is because I'm not able to practice enough. Not just that I'm getting older. But yeah, I'm older. I'm not as quick as I used to be. Compared to how I was when I was like 27, no, I'm not as athletically gifted. Now, like, I would make kind of an argument that I'm probably in better shape than I was 2 or 3 years ago, but I just don't get I don't get the reps to be able to play more than a couple of times a year. So that is, to me, the more frustrating thing. Is not even that I'm losing a step because I'm getting older, but I'm losing a step because I don't have anywhere to play currently.
Yeah.
So hence why I try to organize like 3 laser tag vacations a year.
Somebody needs to open a Sacramento site. I'm looking at you, DK. Maybe
Have you seen my paychecks?
Maybe wait until after this impending recession.
We don't all have a crypto fortune we're sitting on, Steve.
Yeah,
Jesus.
That's right. I bought shares in gas. You're terrified to pick up a phaser after 2 years? Just do it. Get out of the way. Just do it, maniac. Just do it. Oh, that's also, that's in the bad category. In the bad category, gas prices going to $1 bajillion a gallon. We did the conversion. At the time when I did the conversion, it worked out to be like New Zealand gas prices are like $8.50 a gallon or something, or $9 a gallon or something. But I'm not very good at math, so who knows. Beautiful! What up, dude? Dude, you didn't come to see us. That's also another bad thing. This guy.
Yeah, what up? Come on, Marco. Jeez. You could have had us in the flesh, and you just left us.
That's right.
I could have.
Terrible.
I could have talked to you about EP covers in person instead of having to message you.
Yeah, jerk. And just also as equally good a musician, I could have done the same thing. Right, let's tear through the next little part because we've been on for a while. I know Dan's got better places to be. Just play tag and said, George, you won't even need the phaser for your first game. I like them, mate. It's cool. All right, the ugly. Have you guys got some stuff for the ugly?
Yes. God damn it.
Shoot.
Dan hasn't talked enough, so he needs to tell his story.
That's right.
Yeah, so the barbecue social dinner thing on the final night, that was cool. That was great. It was awesome. We'd gone up to Estes Park that afternoon because it was really actually, Russ, yes, it was barbecue in the dark, but it was in a restaurant, so it was okay.
So it was a little bit better.
Yeah, we didn't have to cook it.
Yeah, so good. So we go up to Estes Park. Like I said, very nice, lovely. We get in the rental to go back, and um, rental's complaining, "Hey, back left tire. I'm at 24 psi. Oh, that's not good." Okay, fine. Maybe it's just the fact we climbed 2,500 feet and it's a little colder. Fine. Put air in the tire. Light goes away. Cool. Drive back to the house. Chill for a couple hours. Everybody at the house leaves. Steve-O comes with me in the rental. Turn on the car. Go to drive. Left rear tire is at 16 psi. Really? You fucking kidding me? Pull over very quickly. I don't see anything, but fine. Luckily, there is a close gas station, a Come and Go, which is
Yeah,
always
Steve loves the come and go.
Yeah, I love the come and go.
Don't we all?
They do free refills.
Get free refills at the Come and Go.
Worst name ever. Terrible.
No, best name ever. They knew what they were doing. And yeah, long come short, apparently while we were up in Estes Park, picked up a screw in that tire.
Not in a good way.
No. Yeah, definitely not in the come and go way. Not at all. So
Put it in our chat, Steve. Put it in the fucking Discord.
Oh, I'm about to.
So other people can see it.
I'm about to.
So my dumbass has to change a tire, which, you know, not necessarily a big deal. Thank fuck the rental had a spare in it, but it just kind of like fucked my entire mood for the, you know, last evening, because, you know, I'd gone from like, yeah, okay, cool, we'll get to see everybody, to kind of finish out the night, to are you fucking kidding me? And so yeah, so final night, I was not necessarily as as friendly and in a good a frame as I was hoping to be, because I had to change a fucking tire in a rental, and then because the next morning was going the fuck home, so had to get to the had to get to the airport, so ended up with a goddamn drive to the airport with a fucking donut spare. So it's like, okay, cool, I can only do 50 miles an hour on these 70 mile an hour.
It was like an hour and a half to get there. It was fucking crazy.
Damn it.
There's like angry people who are passing us constantly, being like, this old motherfucker doesn't know how to drive.
Like, I got a fucking donut spare on a fucking on an SUV. I'm just not risking that. So that was cool.
Let's
silver lining. At least we didn't have like the tire completely blow out on us when we were like in one of those fucking canyons going to or from Estes. That would have completely fucked.
Oh, bro, that would have been terrifying.
Like, that was an annoyance what we had to deal with, but
yeah, for sure. Yeah, if
grand scheme of things,
not too bad. Like, yeah, if that screw had hit like a side, had gone in on the sidewall and caused the tire to you know blow, yeah, that would have been horrific, especially because most of the drive to from Estes Park, there's no cell signal no matter what carrier you're using, because shockingly, when you're driving in, you know, very, you know, cliffy rocky canyons, real fucking hard to get cell signal. So So yeah, that was just my fucking irritation to end the week. I was like in a really good frame to go and actually be social, and I realize me saying that is fucking shocking to everybody in this chat who actually knows me. And then this happened, and I was just like, no, I'm completely shut down and do not want to just totally checked out and do not want to socialize with anybody now, because now I'm just totally fucked off. So
the bartender was mean to you.
The Coke was too weak for him too.
Oh, dude, that rum and Coke that you ordered me. First off, thank you for ordering me the rum and Coke. I appreciate it, but it was such a weak fucking drink. It was literally one of the weakest drinks I've ever had. It was fucking trash. Thank you for ordering it.
They just put the bottle of rum next to the Coke.
That's pretty much what it was. Yeah,
just get the aroma.
Yeah,
just in there.
Next time, flirt with the bartender guy, and he'll sort you out. It was
I'm not
average.
averse to that.
It was average. Anyone that hasn't already seen that right there over there, that's the tire with the screw in it. It was average, but like you did a pretty good job. You changed that shit out like real quick. You were like 25 minutes in and out, come and go.
Well, so the fact that I have a car with low profile tires, so I'm used to changing spares is a whole other thing. So yeah, but still, fuck.
Hoodie, thank you so much for 21 months, brother. We appreciate all the support. We've almost been gone for 2 years. That shit's nuts, absolutely crazy.
Yeah, bro.
That is a bit ugly. Look at that tire, so ugly. Did you guys have any other ugly moments?
Did you actually put it in the Discord? I don't see it.
No, it's I put it directly in the podcast. You have to have the podcast.
Oh, okay, got it. All right, never mind.
Yeah, it's there. It's fine.
There.
It
all
is
right,
visible
all right.
for everybody to see. It's fine.
All right, fair. Okay.
All
good.
Other ugly, I don't know. I
mentioned oh yeah. Whilst I actually, we don't need to talk about that.
Yeah. Okay, well, you guys are hemming and hawing. I guess I'll tell my story and stuff like that. So I, of course, fucked off my responsibilities at work for a week.
No.
And had, told people that are like, yeah, I'm gonna miss this. And I told everybody coming straight in, like when the classes were offered me, I told one department chair, I'm just like, hey, you know what? I had this trip that kind of already had planned. I sort of assumed we'd be online, so I'm gonna miss a week in the middle of the term. They're just like, oh yeah, fine, no problem. Don't worry about it. I told them that it wasn't, but when I left, I was like, okay, do I actually have to file an absence report? Because I set up this whole thing, like, look, there's going to be alternative assignments. I already made all these videos from when we were in COVID protocols and stuff like that. Our course had been moved online anyway, regardless of what we wanted to do. And so I had all these resources that are up. So I'm like, cool, I'm just going to run it online for this week. Well, I find out they're like, actually, yeah, you do still have to file absence for that because you can't change the modality of your course on whim. We can tell you, of course, you need to stay home for the next 2 semesters, and you're not allowed out of your house and stuff like that. But you can't take time off without filling out, 50 other forms and marking them in a very specific way. Like, okay, that was slightly annoying, but I get that email like Monday morning. We're gonna play the tournament. I'm like, okay, that's fine, whatever. I'll fill it out when I get back. I find out, I check my email again on Friday, pretty much right after we get to the airport. Then.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing. So the airport itself was a whole adventure because as we're going through, they have like a apparently bomb and or drug sniffing dog that comes by and stuff like that. Well, scented something on me that they really liked. So of course I have to get pulled aside, have my entire bag gone through. So TSA is handling my disgusting sweaty ass laser tag underwear that I've been wearing all week, the trophies that have been wrapped up and said, sweaty clothes and stuff like that, having to repack everything. And I'm just like, why? What could they have possibly done from that? Now, later, some people mentioned that maybe some of the St. George players had gone to the gun range in between when we went to the, in between when we ended play and then when we went to the barbecue place that night. And I was like, well, I definitely was, hugging quite a few people, especially as the drinks started flowing. So I'm like, maybe something got rubbed onto my sweater or something like that. I have no idea. Snuffle said, no, we didn't. We ended up going to see the Batman movie. So I don't know what happened, but that was an annoyance. And then I check my email when I sit down at the terminal. Like, hey, we need that absence report because it has to be filed by tomorrow. I was like, fucking kidding me? I can't even wait till I get home to do this. So I start pulling it up, but of course I don't have my PDF editor with me. I can't do that shit from my phone. And because my brain starts racing and I'm like, I could probably just do this when I get home, but I end up having to call my partner and telling her what to put in on the stupid absence form so I could email it in. And I'm like, I just wanted one extra day before reality came fucking crashing back down on me. I had such a good week, and then all of a sudden, no, you fill out these forms and get the fuck back to work. So it put me in a bad headspace going back. And I'm like, I wasn't hoping to face the real world quite this soon after finishing the trip, but no. Literally, we get to the airport, and it's just like, no, fuck you, DK.
That's some bullshit. Poor DK.
Get fucked.
There must have been something in the house, maybe, because when we got to when I got to Utah, my check bag had been opened. They'd cut one of the padlocks to have a look in there, and left me a little note saying that they'd done it and they zip tied it back up. And I was like, that sucks, because that's a really good padlock. So maybe there was something in our house that we stayed at.
They also swiped your bourbon, didn't they? Or your whiskey?
That was always a risk. I'd carried I carried a bottle of Jameson's from me all the way from Auckland, all the way until we went from Colorado to Utah, and I couldn't have it in my carry-on because you can't carry that sort of size container of liquid, but it was still in a sealed customs bag, and they were still like, it has to be within 48 hours, otherwise it doesn't count. And I was like, that's some bullshit. So I threw away an unopened bottle of Jameson. So hopefully TSA at Colorado Airport, hopefully you had one on me, my friends.
Well, at least it wasn't Fireball.
Yuck. Fireball's the worst. Good drink. A couple of other ugly things. Non-standard laser force equipment in the arena. That counts if you're reffing. Items include cell phones, but more importantly, pencils. Don't take your stationery into the arena. Who would have thought that somebody would have separated their shoulder bailing on a ramp because of a pencil? Shout out Snowflake. That's got to be one of the shittest injuries at a laser force tournament. Like, shittest as in, like, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have to replace, like, the stereotype of the Detroit players always getting injured with the SoCal players always getting injured, because Zev fucking destroyed his ankle first day of fake Nats, and now we have Connor, messing up his shoulder just on a random pencil.
Day one, bail on a pencil on a ramp, and then you have to go to hospital and get pain meds. Maybe he's just got a pain med problem.
I was glad that when Baden tweaked his calf, that it wasn't worse than it was. Because my mind started racing through all kinds of real bad scenarios, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I kind of tweaked my calf, the same one that I injured a while back." And I was like, "Fuck."
Also, never go to Vegas by yourself, kids. Vegas is a lonely place if you're there just celebrating on your own. Well, unless you're celebrating like Hoodlum. Don't celebrate like Hoodlum. I in hindsight, I really wish I'd have gone to California with Thunder. Do you want to get that? Thank you. Snuffles, kiss your mother with that mouth. But yeah, I in hindsight wish I'd gone with Thunder and his family to California. If I had have remembered that Star Wars Land was a thing at Disneyland, I probably would have, but I didn't. Well, I wasn't reminded of that until it was too late to cancel all my Vegas shit. So, my cuckle is cunted. Not cuckle.
Not cuckold. It's something else completely. Yeah. That's an entirely different category on sites.
Vegas was cool, but like when I went to Meow Wolf by myself, which is this crazy art exhibition, and like it was cool, but like would have been cooler with people. Craps was also cool. Would have been cooler with people. I played like hours and hours of craps and I came out even. So, it was a good,
not too
good
bad.
session. I got free drinks, cost me like $1 per drink. And also playing disc golf in a park filled with homeless people is also interesting because out of bounds gets real testy.
Or as we call it here in the States, disc golf. There's always homeless people around.
We'll talk to future tournaments we bought tonight. I think we'll save that maybe for next week. Did they cheer me on? No, They did not. They were too busy huffing. Maybe we'll talk about future tournaments next week, because that's a whole nother kettle of fish to unpack. Plus, there needs to be some advancements made, I think, in those conversations. So
but I am planning soft plans, but I'm like 95% sure now. I'm going to try to make it out to St. George the week of my spring break. So anybody else who wants to come hang out, I'm sure they would be happy for more company, and we can get a big old member night like we did last year.
I also want to talk about, not today, but I want to talk about my experiences in the St. George Arena. I have some GoPro footage, which unfortunately won't come with stats or scoreboards, but I'll put the raw footage up maybe on our site, maybe on our site. If you want to check out the Loveland Arena, the best place to do that, !mischief in chat. Go to Mischief's YouTube page and check out his GoPro footage from the week. I think he has like 8 or 9 games up there that he did.
And there's some non-SM5 ones that are in there as well. Like I think there's like a laser ball one. I know that I was running the GoPro when we played that weird D&D game. That was craziness.
Yeah. It was like 12 a side or something ridiculous. I don't know. There's a lot of people in there. From April, sometime Aussies can come to New Zealand without needing to isolate. Yes, that is a thing. I have put feelers out there about the one definite from this year is Auckland Nats will be held in 2023. Fingers crossed, yeah. But that's the plan. It won't happen this year. This year is too short notice, apparently, to give to any American players coming. However, for anyone interested, there will be a North American Nats held this year somewhere, most likely in July or August. So if you're from Australasia and you want to travel over there, let me know, because I might want to come with you. Otherwise, maybe we'll look to do some sort of West Coast tournament here, 2026. July of St. George. Yeah, we'll talk about all this.
We don't know July what. We're still working that out.
Yeah.
Calm your tits, Russ.
That's why the conversation is going to be next week, because
we'll have more information.
I agree with Odin. All of July, we're changing it up. We're doing a month-long tournament because we're making up for previous years. So we're going to have 4 years of tournaments all compressed into one.
Next week, dang it! I'm surprised that Auto Mod didn't flag your post there, Thunder.
Yeah, careful, guys. He's on the Swedish fish again.
Right. So, if you have stories that you want to share about your Nats experience, please join the Discord, !Discord in chat. That's probably the best place to tell stories, and you can either write them or you can jump in a voice chat and just hang out. Rugby and rugby league has started up. So we'll be doing a lot of sports lounge watching and hangs in the Discord. So if anyone wants to get into a new sport, come check it out there. Is there anything else you guys wanted to mention about the tournament? Or at least
I'm sure we can bring it up in a future episode.
Yeah, I think we've covered everything pretty decently at this point.
Yeah, I concur. Plus, we've been harping on for almost 2 hours, so we'll let people go and enjoy the rest of their evening/day. I absolutely loved seeing you all in person.
It was all right.
We did that on our last podcast. We actually did at the tournament.
One.
We did cover results.
Yeah. We didn't win.
Check the BODs,
no
Stallion.
One else cares.
Jesus.
Look, if you want to know, we came third, and that's all that we care about, I suppose.
Well, since so many of them are here in chat, we'll give a shout out to Cedar City, who came in first, and to Chula, who came in second. Good job by you guys. I'm proud of all of you. They were well earned. Top 2 finishes.
They really were.
So good job, guys. You guys were awesome.
Yeah, it was impressive what you guys did during the week. So I think Cedar were consistently great over the week. Chula Vista were good and then turned into really good over the week. So it was really cool to see the progression of how you guys play during the week. So.
Yeah, if you peak at the right time, you can do a lot.
Ooh, coverage starts and kickoff in 2 hours. I've got to go roller skating tonight, but I would imagine that Mr. Doom / Tales of a Servant will be hanging out in the sports lounge watching the New Zealand Warriors play some rugby league. If you wanna see a good game, for all you Americans who are like lamenting the fact there's no more football, jump in a sports lounge and watch yourself some rugby league. You will love that shit. It's such a good game to watch.
Way better than Gridiron.
I think so too.
It really is. Not even close.
Boys, it was so nice hanging out with you for the week. I
Bro.
love all the time that we get to spend together. So hopefully it's not 4 years before I get to see you guys in the flesh again. But
Definitely not.
you were playing the whole tournament on a fucked up foot. Ew. Did you have an ingrown
And,
toenail?
and that foot has to cover a lot because that's like, eight additional feet of compression. That's all on that foot.
It's 8 feet of foot. Warriors in good game.
That was-
sentence.
That was not one of your better lines, bro. Good
Me?
effort, though.
Me or him?
No, DK.
Yeah, phew. Mine was awesome. I nailed it. Right.
Yours was not great.
So
Good job by you.
we're gonna follow up this coming week. I want to give a very special quick shout out to Blue Sin. He's been taking about the same amount of time off as we took for streaming. He's back this week on Monday for community content with a newly revamped stream space. So !Blue Sin in chat if you want to follow him, which I highly recommend you do because he is entertaining as fuck.
And we are not.
Well, mediocre at best.
We're entertaining as shit. We haven't risen to the fuck.
Oh yeah, he's fuck with a hard F. So we'll be Gibbo mate with the gift sub. Thank you. It's very nice of you.
There you go, Dill. Enjoy that.
It's very nice to be home. So, come join us over the week. We'll have some more content. We may even be playing some laser tag this week. If we are, we will.
Pew pew.
We will stream those games. We'll be back on Wednesday with some sort of stream. Thunderdome Thursday on Thursday. Next week on the podcast, we will talk about Nats. Perhaps. We will get
We have something to say.
if we have something to say. I think maybe we'll. Hey Thunder, what are you up to next week, mate? Come join us. We'll organize a guest maybe for next week, but the next few weeks will be full of content. So very nice to see you all. Thank you so much. Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. For this week though, I have been Guy Next Door.
I've been DK.
And I've been Than.
Always remember to backtrack, kids. Watch out for pencils on the ramp, and we will see you next week. Ka kite anō.